And hi, welcome to this video. And in this video I want to continue where I left off. So I'm going to have this part actually copied and pasted over into our velocity file. So this is the one. So I'm going to paste it into the velocity file, and this is part of Foam Writer. So I'm going to go to video scripts, go to input output, and remember this is how we're supposed to do it. I mean, it looks a bit ugly here, but you know, you work with what we have. So this is the right header. Let's make another function for def right foam object. So let me see. Oh, I don't have anything else open. It's over here. Foam file. Foam file. Oops. I have to change. Right. Foam file section. Okay, it'll be self and then file name. Okay. All right. So I'm going to paste this here. And it's going to be same thing. And I'm going to, instead of having the right object, I'm only going to use the append object here. So I'm going to yank this. I'm going to paste it here. And let's watch the indentations carefully. Okay, so this is not indented at all. This one is indented 4 spaces in, so let's follow that format. Okay, so first thing first, let's delete this, and then we'll just write foam file on the first line. Foam file, delete this. Second line will be just the open parentheses. Of course I can copy and paste here, but I'm not. Open parentheses, so that's the first two done. Okay, third one, we're supposed to have this version 2.0. Okay, so I'm just going to copy and paste it here like so, and I'm going to have 4 spaces in. Version 2.0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Format, this one can be gone, so let's delete. So this one will be format ASCII or ASC2. So yeah, takes a little bit of a while. Let's do that. So again, 4 spaces. We have a space, and class is a volume vector field. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Class. Well, I don't just want to have volume vector field here. I want to be able to change it to a volume scalar field or volume vector field. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you do 7 spaces. Then I'm going to do a string plus here. So I can concatenate strings using plus. So let's do this here. Def let's see. Okay, now let's put it here. We'll call this a field type. Okay, so I'll have 2 if statements. If field type equals to scalar or vector, then the field type equals to vol vector field. Okay, or maybe I'll just do yeah, I'll do it like that. Okay, I'll just do it like that, and I'll put it with I'll concatenate it using a string. I'll make this into a string version. So field type will be put here, and okay, again, let's watch the spaces. There are no spaces between the header and this form file part. So that's the field type. And then the last one will be the object. Okay. So well, object is you, which is the same as the file name conveniently. So I'm just going to do object. It's 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4. Object 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And let's just do plus and do another plus, and I have this. So this object will be file name, and the file name will be given here as you, so it should play in nicely. And for the velocity file, I'm just going to give it 2 inputs. So self.write foam file section. Okay, the file name equals to you, field type equals to what? Vol vector field. Okay, so this is like by default there. Okay, and then of course for pressure you have a volume scalar field here. 4 things over here. Version 2.0 ASCII vol scalar field object is P. So I can do the same thing. Yank it here, paste it here, and then I'll put, instead of U, I'll put P, and I'll have volume scalar field. Alright, and that's how we're gonna do it. And let's see whether it's going to do the same thing. Self get test object, and I'm gonna get there. Now do the form writer test. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's vim U. Okay, looks like we forgot the last bracket. Everything else looks okay. And let's look at the P as well. Everything else looks okay, it's just that last bracket down there. Thin pipe flow, steppy X mesh, intermediate plus, Salome. And let's go to video scripts. CD video scripts, vim input output. And let's do this. Yeah. Okay, f.write R is to make sure everything's there. You have all the special characters. f.write \n. Okay, so now we should be able to do it. Let's do it again. Self get test object, and the writer test is here. Of course you can read it so that you can like not do all this manually, but let's take a look at the U. Admire the artwork we have just done. I can't say I'm rather proud of it. It's nice. It looks nice. Okay, it just looks nice. Okay, so this is it. Let's see. This one is quite simple. We'll just use another function to print it. Thin pipe flow, snappy X mesh, intermediate plus, Salome, video scripts, and then we'll just go to input output. So I call this dev write header 2 self. Okay, and this is all we are writing. So I'm gonna get the append object with the file name. Okay, file name. Okay, and then I'll have f.write this. Okay, and then I'm going to have a space in there. f.write the \n space. f.close. Okay, so we're going to do that. Self.write header 2, file name equals u, self.write header 2, file name equals u. Of course we can do get and set for this as well, instead of having to have the file name done here over and over and over again. But yeah, I'm just doing a very quick demonstration of how to get this done. Get this thing done. It may not be the most efficient or neat, but it gets the job done. Maybe later I'll then bother about it. Okay, I think I made a typo here. It should be P, so that it will write into the pressure file nicely. Okay, so I don't think I want to test that. Next thing. Okay, next thing I'll do is to, yeah, you write a line. In fact, you write 2 lines. Yeah, it looks like you write 2 lines. So I'm going to do this backspace n again, yank and paste. In fact, f.write, I'm going to have a space, and I'm going to, oops, visual, yank, paste it here, and I'm going to have a f.write, a space. Okay, so this is header 2. Okay, so after header 2 is done, the next thing to do is to write dimensions. Okay, write dimensions. So yeah, I guess the way to do it, you can do it manually or you can do it the hard way. I prefer to do it let's just do it manually. The hard way is to, you know, specify, get and set each of these dimensions, which I don't want to. I will just have this thing called write u dimensions. Okay, what do I mean? Def write velocity dimensions self file name, or doesn't have to be anything, in fact. Okay, so the file name will definitely be u velocity, because it will only be applicable to velocity. Okay, yank this and paste. File name is u. File name is u, and I'll have these dimensions. So let's take a look at this. Okay, again, no spacings, no nothing, and you have 1 spacing after, and after which you have this internal field thing. So okay, this shouldn't be velocity, this is pressure, kinematic pressure, in fact, kinematic pressure. Okay, so this is P. Okay, f.write, f.write, all of this. Okay, f.write, backspace n, f.write, space, f.write, another backspace n, f.close. Alright, so that's the write kinematic pressure. Self.write kinematic pressure dimensions. Okay, and of course we can do the same for velocity. It will be slightly different, but more or less the file structure is the same. So just put it here, write velocity dimensions. So I change the file name to u, and then let's vim u. Okay, vim u and p. Okay, so this is the velocity dimension. So I'm going to change file here. I'm going to paste it over here. All right, here are the velocity dimensions. So I'm going to close this, and let's see whether we return our files correctly. And I'm going to save and quit. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Vim p, and look, the dimensions are here, and then there's an extra space, so it looks good. And look at the velocity. Okay, we don't have that yet because I have not even coded that in. So let's go to theme flight flow snappy hex mesh salom, cd intermediate plus cd salom, cd video scripts, and let's do the input output py. So self.write velocity dimensions, self.write velocity dimensions, and then let's do this. Okay, so I don't want to bother checking because there's a lot of change directory. Of course there's a way to automate that, but I don't want to do that just yet. Let's just concentrate on finishing this as much as we can. So next thing to write here is the internal field and the boundary field. So how do we set the internal field? Okay, well, okay, so let's do internal field first. So we use a tuple or something like that. Oh man, I'm getting tired. Yeah, let's do a set internal field def. Okay, I'm gonna have get and set functions again. 2, 3, 4, 5. Get and set functions are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So def set velocity internal field. Okay, and then ux uy uz. All right. Okay, so self.ux equals ux, self.uy equals uy, self.uz equals to uz. Okay, so that's how we set the internal field. And then getting the internal field is a bit difficult. Okay, let me do this. Def get velocity internal field self. Okay, let's do a tuple 1, 2, 3. It will just give you a tuple 1, 2, 3. So return. I know it's a bit messy, but just bear with me. Self.uz. Okay. Now, of course, this is a tuple type. If I'm not wrong, is a tuple. 1, 2, 3. Class tuple. Yes, this is a class of tuple. We can actually change this into a string. Okay. Okay, so this will change the tuple type to a string. So string 1, 2, 3, which will give you the string 1, 2, 3. So I want to change that into a string version. So this is the velocity internal field, which we can just change it to 1, 2, and 3, whatever. Okay, so anyway, so we have internal field. Okay, this is the internal field here. So we can set the velocity internal field and set the pressure internal field. So we can do the write velocity internal field, or we can just do a write internal field first. Write internal field self file name. Okay. So and then yeah, we can give it the internal field value. Okay, so what it does, again, I'm gonna have all of these, so I'm gonna yank and paste it here, that we can copy and paste a lot. Okay, so we have an append object. The file name will be equals to file name, of course. I'm not going to use dimensions this time. File name equals to file name. And what else? So you have internal field, we have 3 space. Okay, I'll just copy and paste this down. Okay, so we have internal field f.write internal field and this. So internal field and 3 spaces, and I'm going to plus, I'm going to have a uniform, then 1 space, and then I'm going to add another string to it. Okay, so this will all be gone, and then I will have this. Okay, so I'm gonna have this tuple string or whatever, and I'm gonna plus this this last bit of string here. So I'll have this internal field value. Okay, I'll have this internal field value here. Okay, and before I start anything, I'm going to make sure it is a string. So in case I supply integers or anything to it, it will transform into a string. Internal field value equals to string internal field value. Okay, so that will change any of those internal field values into a string. We can add spaces or whatnot later. Anyway, we don't need the dimensions file anymore, so I'm going to do a 2dd here. Okay, internal field value is here, which we can supply. Okay, so we have the velocity internal field, so we can just do write velocity internal field, def write velocity internal field. Self, well, is there's no file name here because I can just apply that file name. So I do self.write internal field, file name equals to velocity, of course, and internal field value equals to what? We can just get velocity internal field here to return it to the environment or whatnot. Okay, then we can do the same thing for pressure, and then we can just write the final results in. Okay, self.get velocity internal field. And we can do the same for pressure, and then I'm going to paste it here. Okay, the file name will be pressure p. Internal field name will be get kinematic pressure internal field. Kinematic pressure internal field. Okay, so we'll need to do get and set for that. So yank, I'm gonna put paste here. Okay, so kinematic pressure. Kinematic pressure. So kinematic pressure is pressure divided by density. Kinematic pressure. Okay, so I'm going to put instead of ux, u1, uz, I've just put kinematic pressure. Kinematic pressure. So self.kinematic pressure equals kinematic pressure. So this one will just return self.kinematic pressure. Alright, so that's done. So get kinematic pressure internal field will be here, and then I will be able to do this. Self.write velocity internal field. Okay, self.write kinematic pressure internal field. Alright, so this is it. So let's try running it again. Hopefully no errors, but I'm expecting an error. It says foam writer has no attribute called kinematic pressure. So actually we will need to set it first. Okay, so in a constructor we can actually set it to some default value. Self.set kinematic pressure internal field to what? Maybe let's put it at 0. Okay, it just needs a kinematic pressure, and then you can set the velocity internal field as well. Self.set velocity internal field to 0, 0, 0, and that should be okay. It has no attribute write kinematic pressure internal field in line 142. Okay, why is it no attribute? Foam writer object. Okay, let's see what line 142. Write kinematic pressure internal field. Oh, is yes, okay. Okay, that explains it. Okay. Pressure. Okay, that's it. And we should be done after. Alright. So let's take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's vim u. Okay. I mean, well, it's not exactly the nicest formatting, but you see, I think it should work. Okay, it should work. Okay, so it looks like we have spaces in between here, but over here we have commas. We don't want the commas, right? We don't want the commas, so we have to get rid of the commas. Alright, so but if we look at P, everything else looks okay. Uniform 0. Okay. Vim U. So okay, Vim P. So it's uniform 0. Vim U P. Okay. So let's just deal with this syntax error and then we are done for now. Alright, so thin pipe hole snappy hex mesh. Let's see. Snappy pipe intermediate plus Salom. Video scripts. Vim input output. Okay, so let's see. So yeah, internal field doesn't seem to be that straightforward. I cannot just give it a value like that. Yeah, actually I can. So let's see. We can concatenate strings here. Velocity field equals to I'm going to copy this down. Okay. And then I'm going to make the string over here. Okay. Ux equals velocity field 0, 1. Uy equals to velocity field 1. Okay. Let me check this, yeah. A equals to 1, 2, 3. A 0. Okay. A 0. Okay. A 0 is 1, so it needs to be square bracketed. So let's use square brackets. 1. So this is a replace mode. 0. 1. And this is 2. Okay, so shouldn't be too difficult. Internal field value equals to, I'm going to string this, open and close brackets, okay, I have to do this plus ux, or string of ux, plus space plus string of uy, plus space plus string of uz. There's no more space at the last one, so I'll just put a close bracket, and the internal field value will be here. Internal field value. A bit tedious, but if it works, it works. Okay. Alright, so that's what this code will be doing. Let's see whether it works. Self-take test object, foam writer test. Let's see whether it works. Alright, Yay! Good. Look at this. We have printed our internal field beautifully. We can use get and set functions to set the internal field to whatever you want. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's all. I think that's enough for today. I shall take a break. It's been a very long work day, so I shall see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.